सावधान। Good, good. सलाम फर्स्ट। Good, बाजब फर्स्ट। के लिए हाजिर है। भारत माता की
government leader, registrars of the Hon'ble High Court, colleague advocates, brothers and sisters. I am extremely delighted to welcome you all to this glorious celebration of the Fifth Republic Day. As we step into public, we must understand that our constitutional makers were not satisfied for it. If Independence Day is a salute to the writing of our constitution inclusive in their only within the framework of constitutional governance, ruled by law rather than by men. A survey of South Asian screen and point out that Indian polity and nobody above the law. This theory indicated that everyone converged in the working of the constitution, that the rule of law is the highest instrument. This country will succumb and will not lack maintaining our constitutional promise. Much of what promised is yet to time wraps. India has survived violation of freedom, kings and pandemics, but has always.
What then happened to the societal structures of dialogue, reconciliation and rapprochement? Why then is there a complete breakdown of structures of oversight, within the social structures who would sit us down, calm us down, put us on the right course without giving up our right to argue? Is that a question all of us need to be addressing ourselves? It's fine to be emphatic about how the polity has to govern us, how the structures have to remain in their respective roles. But have we, as citizens, contributed enough in order that we move towards what is called the egalitarian society? I keep talking about giving up, giving in to a fair argument, of arguing for what is right. But somewhere the argument has to end. It has to end with a courtroom judgment. It has to end with a political process. It has to end with some reconciliation, whether we agree with it or not. If we continue to have those differences lurk around us based on dimensions of identity which are constitutionally prohibited, then we are still a nation in the making. Harmony is something that could be best achieved and long secured if it is after a debate and an argument. But once an argument concludes and debate ends, there ought to be harmony, and the rancor has to give in to a process of accommodating the other. This is the event that all of us look forward to from the standpoint of how much is yet to be delivered and how much is to be worked upon. It is never not an occasion not to introspect when we as citizens have moved on in life, have secured, a few of us have secured such of those possessions or acquisitions which would accrue to people only if there is rule of law and by law. If structures are institution driven, if the opportunities in law are driven by law and not on incumbency, I am sure there would be a general level of acceptance to what comes by in life, with all aspirations having to be accommodated and all areas of acquisition of positions in life secure to people on the basis of what they can hold out for themselves. I thank the institution for organizing this function. Every time there is a bit of innovation, we have had students of music college singing the prayer today. Lawyers have moved to the right and honorable judges have moved to the left, and that is perhaps an acknowledgement that perhaps lawyers are always right. May God bless this country. May we all work towards the growth of the country that we are and the civilization that we are at. God bless.
Chief Justice, let us listen the celestial song of Sare Jaha Se Acha by the students of Government Music College, Vijayawada.
सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा, सारे जहां से अच्छा। हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी, ये गुलसिता हमारा हमारा, सारे जहां से अच्छा। हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी, ये गुलसिता हमारा हमारा, सारे जहां से अच्छा। पर्वत हो सबसे ऊंचा, हम साया आसमान का, पर्वत हो सबसे ऊंचा, हम साया आसमान का। हो संतरी हमारा, हो पासबा हमारा, अच्छा, हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। गोदी में खेलती है जिसकी हजारों नदियाँ, गोदी में खेलती है जिसकी हजारों नदियाँ। गुलशन है जिनके दम से रश के जिना हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर रखना, मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर रखना। हिंदी है हम, हिंदी है हम, हिंदी है हम, वतन है हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी, ये गुलसिता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा।
Deliver His Lordship's message on this ecstatic occasion.
My esteemed sister and brother judges, former honorable judges of this court, Mr. Sri Ram, Learned Advocate General, Mr. K. Janaki Rami Reddy, President of the Andhra Pradesh High Court Advocates Association, Mr. Ghanta Rama Rao, Chairman Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, law officers, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, registrars, judicial officers, officers and staff of the High Court, Mr. Nagi Reddy, members of the print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you all on the occasion of the 75th Republic Day, which our great nation is celebrating today. 26th of January has an immense significance in the heart of every Indian, as it was on this glorious day in 1950 that our nation adopted its constitution, laying the foundation of a democratic Republic of India. The constitution is not just a framework of institutional governance, but an embodiment of our dreams and aspirations, which for long had been suppressed under the alien rule. Slavery, let us not forget, is a curse and undermines human dignity and honor, and the Constitution of India, by enshrining fundamental values of sovereignty, justice, equality, and fraternity, guaranteed a life of recognition and dignity to all citizens of this great nation, regardless of any discrimination of caste, color, creed, or religion. Equally well defined were the institutions of parliamentary governance with corresponding checks and balances, which have over the decades withstood the test of time. The preamble of the Constitution declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and over decades since independence, these fundamental values have unambiguously guided the Indian state in its functioning and have been upheld as an integral part of the Constitution. Fundamental rights are articles of faith for the Indian people, whose rights to be heard and be protected by the rule of law has remained unquestioned. Judiciary in this regard has remained a pillar of strength, forever vigilant as the conscience keeper of the nation with an unfailing commitment to bring justice to all. An empowering tool that the Constitution granted to the adult Indians was the right to vote, elect, and be elected. Indeed, mass enfranchisement was a defining initiative towards participatory and representative democracy, which transformed both the nature of Indian society and the polity. This is evident from the fact that millions of eligible voters have exercised their right to vote to attain the desired political outcomes in the elections that were successfully held since independence. From the very beginning, the framers of the Constitution were committed to the goal of social revolution, which took the form of directive principles of state policy to be achieved over a period of time. Some of the directives, like the right to education, environment, minimum wages, free legal aid, empowerment and welfare of backward and weaker classes, have been given legal effect, and more importantly, institutionalization of village panchayats has strengthened the long-standing project of grassroots democracy in India. This is also a day to remember and pay tributes to the framers of the Indian Constitution and the visionary Dr. Ambedkar, who with their foresight gave us a constitution giving life and breath to the concepts of justice, liberty, and equality in the context of economic and social inequality, which were so intrinsically interwoven in the Indian fabric. They gave us a document which is flexible and caters to the needs and aspirations of the nation relevant to that era. The Indian Constitution is also said to be a living document, as it is so worded as allows the judiciary to interpret it according to the evolving needs and challenges of the society. Today, India stands tall as a republic amongst the democratic nations of the world for its unique form of constitution, which in practice, it remains committed to a social order where there is no injustice, exploitation, or exclusion, but justice and equality for all. On that basis, India has distinguished itself as one of the most liberal constitutions of the world for the deftness with which it has acknowledged and accommodated the interests of diverse communities of this nation and set an example of unity in diversity. Notwithstanding the constitutional protection and goals set out to be achieved therein, there is still a section of people who do not have access to justice either on account of ignorance or on account of poverty. This remains an area of concern which is sought now to be addressed through the Legal Services Authority, which has, during the year, conducted as many as 8,960 legal literacy camps, spreading awareness across the state of Andhra Pradesh, and in particular among industrial workers, workers in the unorganized sector, women, children, and the tribal people, for spreading awareness regarding their rights and also providing them access to justice. For a land as complex and diverse as India, delivering of justice poses multiple challenges, the foremost being the delivery of speedy justice. In the context of an avalanche of cases that have descended on the justice delivery system, to which our system is trying to respond to overcome by strengthening the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms by the use of technology and digitization of records. Let us, on this momentous day, renew our pledge to uphold the sovereignty, unity, and honor of this great nation. Jai Hind.
we express our reverential gratefulness to the Honorable Chief Justice for illuminating and enriching message on this epoch-making day, reverberating the spirit of the Constitution of India, a grand norm for the governance of the nation. We extend our humble gratefulness to my Lord Honorable Chief Justice for taking personal attention in guiding us in conducting this Republic Day function, upholding the glorious occasion. We thank the Honorable Chief Justice and the Honorable Judges and also the family members of their Lordships for their gracious presence. We also thank the Learned Advocate General, Chairman Bar Council, President AP High Court Advocates Association, Public Prosecutor, Land Advocates, Registrars, Judicial Officers, Staff Members, Police Personnel, Judicial Officers, Print and Electronic Media for having attended the celebration and making the event a memorable one. We also thank the students of the Government Music College Vijayawada for coming over to High Court and taking part in this celebration. Now it is time for National Anthem by the students of Government Music College, and may I request the dignitaries to rise for the National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गादा जन गण मंगल